Alright then guys, welcome back to another video from Reef Drama, and as you've seen by the thumbnail, we have got a new skimmer, and it is the Red Sea RSK 600 with the DC pump and controller. So let's get into the video. Okay, so as you can see behind me, there is the skimmer. There is, where is it? There, the control panel for it as well. And also, eagle-eyed viewers, if you can see around the corner of the box, might notice that I have lowered the height of the pond now. So the overflow, which is there, is now a lot higher above the water surface, whereas before it was only just above. Now it's got a little bit more. So anyway, enough of that. This is about the skimmer. Now I'm not going to do a whole unboxing because that's already been done to death. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out the box and going to get it set up and we'll get it into position so you can see what it looks like and also what I need to do beforehand to get it to work correctly. So let's get on with it. All right, so there it is, all built up. So let's have a bit of a closer look. So obviously we've got the pump right down here at the bottom. It's going to be sucking in from that way, and then we've got our bubble diffuser coming up, adjustability on the side here for the water level, skimmer cup, and then we've also got the sensor in here as well, which I will need to take out for calibration, but I believe it sort of helps you through the setup in the app. But yeah, all built up. We've got the rest of the power cabling here. Still got to unbox the controller, and the power cable at the moment is just down there, but we have a space for it there at the moment, so that's good. Yeah, so that took about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so to put that together. Not too bad. It's fairly straightforward. If you ever need to take it apart, just need to unscrew these 4 thumb screws, take the cup off the top, unscrew the 4 thumb screws, remove the body. Once you've removed this part from here, of course, and then that will allow the body to come off, and then you can gain access to the pump. So, you know, there are obviously easier ones out on the market, especially if the pump is external to the skimmer. But because this had the sensor system, that's really the main reason why I went for this. Plus, I've already got over there, as you know, we've got the auto top off for Red Sea. So the controller is just there for that. And of course, we've got the Red Sea ReefMat. So I want to kind of, you know, the main 3 things all on the same app, just keeps it nice and easy, nice and tidy. But yeah, loving that. So apart from having to put all this together and kind of wire it up, I need to work out where it's going to sit in the sump. We need to gauge how high this has to sit in the water, you know, so I need to find that out. And then I will need to purchase a skimmer stand or build one myself so that can sit at the correct height. And of course, I need to cut out one of these tops, these plastic tops here, to allow the cup to obviously stick through the top and then gain better access to it. But yeah, happy with that. It's got the old neck cleaner in there as well. So if you twist this round, there you go, you can see that is going to wipe that neck clean. Lovely. That will make it a bit easier, as well as a nice long length of tubing here to be able to empty the skimmer cup without potentially removing it. Right, let's get the controller sorted now and start measuring for fitment. Right then guys, so next part is to make the stand. So I've been to well, Carver's, and I've purchased some T's, and I've purchased some 90s, and I've also purchased a 3 meter length of this pipe. This is all 32mm solvent weld, and obviously I've cut all the bits up that I need for my little drawing that I've done here and all my workings out. Yep, it's already looking like it's been snowing out there on the chop saw because of all the white bits and pieces from the pipe. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of put this together and see how it looks. And I probably need to order some egg crate, unless I've got some out the back, because obviously this will need to sit on the egg crate. And this is going to be raising it up by, where is it on my drawing? Either 9 inches or 7 inches. So that will then have it sitting in the water in about 6 or 8 inches. Right, let's hopefully next time you see this little space, it will have that built. There we go, just like that. We've got a skimmer stand all made out of 32mm PVC piping. I've got some spare bits here in case I need to change this part here, which is like 1 inch there and 1 inch there. So that's 2 inches, that's 3. So that would obviously then raise it up by another inch if I needed to. Or potentially I could take that out and lower it all down by 1 inch. So yeah, happy with that. That will do. Skimmer easily will sit on there. Once I've got some egg crate on the top, which I will wire tie to these. And obviously this is all going to fall apart if I move it. So it will have to be solvent welded together. But that will be for tomorrow. That literally cost me, what, 20 quid for all of it. So for the 3-meter pipe and then for all the accessories. So 8 T-pieces and 4 90s. Hopefully you can see, if you want to build it yourself, how I've done it. So crossed across the top there. Got a cross member across both sides just for a bit of structure. But yeah, that will be good. Just while we're in the fish house, let me show you a couple of new fish that I've got in the QT. I won't get too close, but I'll zoom in. So over in that corner, they're both there. So we've got a striped blenny, and we've also got a chalk goby as well. So I've got a little bit of sand in a tub there that I've took out of the main tank, which is where these two guys will be going. And that will obviously allow the goby to continue doing what he does best. So I don't want him to forget whilst he's on a bare bottom kind of QT tank. He needs to go into the main tank in the lounge and do what he does best. And as for the striped blenny, well, that was just because the nice yellow on it. So I want sort of small, colourful fish. He'll probably grow, I think, to maybe about 3 inches, the striped blenny. So yeah, should be good. So they're in the quarantine and they are just going through the kind of visual at the moment, just making sure that they're okay. They're feeding well, so that's good. But yeah, they're just in there at the moment, just going through sort of visual quarantine, so to speak. So I'm going to leave them to get on with whatever they're doing, and we'll carry on with what we're doing, namely the skimmer stand. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I've put a back on the quarantine tank. So a piece of the paneling that I've got on the side of the pond, had some left over, so I'll put it on the back of there. You might have noticed that earlier when I showed you the fish. But yeah, that's tidied it up. Nice. Matchy matchy. Well, I've just found some egg crate out in the little fish house shed that I've got behind the fish house. So I've just cut that down. So that's perfect. That will fit on there lovely. And then I've also got some wire ties to then attach it. So yeah, look at that. Lovely jubbly. Right then, guys. So there we go. That is all solvent welded together. As you can notice here, I've done my usual kind of put in the little black lines either side, you know, just so as I can make sure that it is all exactly in place and all the correct like orientations and everything have all been done. So that will now be nice and sturdy. Pick it all up in one, and obviously it's still slightly drying. I haven't put the solvent welded the legs on because I need them to be removable to adjust the height. So yeah, going to leave that now to dry. Got the window open, bit of ventilation in here, and we'll come back and when it's dried, put the egg crate on the top. Okay, so we've added the egg crate. It's all strapped down, and I've also drilled some holes in the end here. That one went a bit wrong, but the others are okay. There's a couple more up there as well, and then if we flip it around, I've done exactly the same on that side. Basically, just because I didn't want stagnant water to just be inside it, I guess, and I thought this, might kind of help. But anyway, I suppose we will see. I've lifted the lids off of here, and with any luck, it's going to go down in that sort of section there. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to get to the skimmer stand in place, and then we will stand the skimmer on top of it, and then we'll start turning on, setting it up on the Reef Beat app, and we'll go through that as well quickly. All right, so there we go. That is now all sitting in the sump, and it is actually at the moment sitting in 6 inches of water. I'll put that down onto that egg crate. You probably can't really make that out, but that is bang on 6 inches as it happens. So if I take the leg off, or the legs, then obviously I'll be able to put these other ones on, the longer ones, and then that will raise it up another inch. So we'll see how this goes anyway for now. I love the fact that it's just about the same level at the moment as the top of the pond, so that's cool. So let's turn it on, and then I've got the controller here for the moment, so let's see what happens. Turn it on here. Control panel should light up, which it does, and we have got the settings little light there flashing. Now if that's not flashing, you can press the button just underneath to actually start that flashing, but you need that flashing so that the app can then start searching for it and find it. So let's go over and we'll sort out the app. Okay, so as you can see, I already have the Reef Beat app on my phone because I've already got the auto top off, and I've also got the ReefMat. So we're going to open up the Reef Beat app. Obviously, if you haven't already got it, then you will have to download it first. So here you can see that I've got my ReefMat there. I've got the auto top off, which reminds me I turned that off earlier. So let's switch that back on again. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to Device Manager down at the bottom here. We're going to select that, and then we are now going to select the little plus in the top right corner. We're going to find what we're adding, which is the Reef Run. Select that, and then we've got to make sure the device is connected, which it is. Connection button was done, so let's go to the Wi-Fi settings. We need to find its own Wi-Fi and join it. Reef Run, there we are, RS Run. So we will select that. Password is just password, so you just type that in, view it to check. Yeah, connect. Okay, connected without internet. So let's go back into this one, select next. Success, there we go. So we'll press next. So we're connected to the Wi-Fi now again, and we're now updating to the latest firmware. Done. Okay, so we need to tell it what pump we have put the skimmer into, which I think was pump 1. We need to tell it the skimmer that we've put in. So we've done the RSK 600, press set, that's it. So we're going to more settings, going to scroll down to the bottom, going to select edit pump name, because I'm going to call this skimmer pump. Done. Press save. So what we need to do now is we need to calibrate the 2 sensors on the top that's in the skimmer cup. Here we go, lovely. Get that. Now this is going to overflow. So what I'm going to do, well, most likely it will overflow. So I'm going to open up this tap. I can hopefully do it with one hand, because what's going to happen is most likely that skimmer cup is going to fill right up, and we're going to put that need to kind of put that down, just put that down there, look. So as this fills and it's going to overflow, that's why you have the sensor control off for the moment, and we'll do the calibration afterwards, but we don't want it to be turning itself off because it's sensed that it's overflowed or anything like that. So we should see in a minute. Now, why isn't the water coming out of that? Right, one of the things that I'm going to do is reach over to here, and we're going to turn this all the way down to the minus. Again, just because we're obviously starting it, that's all the way down to the minus now. Yeah, that's backed it off. And it is emptying out as well. So that's how I'm going to leave it, basically to just to sort of get it going to start with. Obviously it needs time because it's a brand new skimmer, and this is, don't forget, a fairly new pond as well. So that's how I'm going to leave it for the moment. All right, so it was actually yesterday when I put the Red Sea skimmer into the sump and kind of started it up and adjusted the valve on the back, you know, just to sort of get the bubbling like down low, because I didn't want to have to do the sensors at that point. I had some work to do. But today we're going to have a look at calibrating those sensors. So I've got another camera set up just down here to my left, and what we're going to do is we're going to be able to see it then on the screen and also see what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to get a cup of water out of the sump, and then obviously remove the sensors from the top of the Red Sea skimmer cup, and we'll get into the calibration. So let's do that now. Okay, so let's grab this cup of sump water. Okay, there we go. And we'll get the sensors. So the sensors are just there, ready. Okay, so we will find the skimmer, we'll select the skimmer, we'll then turn on the sensor control, and it comes straight up with calibrate. So we select calibrate, and now what we're going to do is just follow the on-screen instructions. So the longest part wants to go into the actual cup at the moment. So place only the neck probe, press calibrate. Okay, done. And now we put the other one in. There's just enough water in that cup for that. Calibrate. All done. Great. So let's reinstall these. Okay, so that, as you can see, is now back in there. I know I've got to sort out the wires. As usual, wiring is always last on the agenda. So let's put this back down here, and let's have a little look at what this is saying. So, pump on, off, yeah, sensor control, overskim regulation. We've got an adjust the overskim wetness threshold percentage there, currently set to 55. Full cup activation is turned on, that's fine. We've got a skim log and the intensity of the pump, which is set to 100. Skim log there, date, similar to the auto top off, to be fair. Okay, so that should literally be it. All we've got to do is maybe keep an eye on this and lower it or increase it, depending on how it goes. So we are going to save that first. And then that's basically that, all set up with the 3 on there. All right, well, that was easy enough. As you can see down here, we've now got, if you can see it, pick it up, we've now got all 3 lights lit up to show that the sensors are now working. They're now turned on, and they're hopefully going to be doing a good job for us. So what I'm going to do is just going to quickly show you a couple of things with regards to where the skimmer is situated at the moment, and why I've put it in there like I have, and why I've purchased the 600. So let's flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so first of all, why did I get the 600? Well, It's because this will definitely work in the reef tank in the lounge if it doesn't do quite a good enough job in this pond. Now, obviously, I can get the 900 into here, which will then mean this can go into the lounge. So, happy days, I get two Red Sea skimmers, a 600 and a 900. But for now, the 600 is in here. Also, with regards to those holes, now, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see if I bring you down. So, hopefully, you can see there, look, through. There's like one of the holes there, and there. And you can also see here, I've got my J-Cod wave maker, which is pushing obviously that way all the time. So that hopefully will be pushing water, you know, through the holes, through the pipe work, and then kind of out those holes either end. So that's really why I put those holes into there. And then the third thing is the waste pipe, which is the where is it, the third one over. So what, 1, 2, 3, this one here, this just comes straight out the pond and straight into the sump. It does not go through the reef mat. Only these two go through the reef mat. So this one goes straight into the sump. Now what I've done is I've angled the pipe, as you can see there, towards the intake of the skimmer. So again, hopefully that's the right thing to do. Let me know in the comments if you think that that's not quite right. But that's what I've done for the moment. And then obviously I also need to potentially adjust the skimmer as well, so we can see just about where the bubbles are in the neck of the cup look. So I'm going to need to find out whether that's the absolute right place or not. And as it starts to film over and, you know, get the nice skim mate, then I'll be able to turn this tap off so that it's not constantly dripping into the sump itself. So that's why, and that's where, and that's how, and everything else. Hopefully I've answered the questions. Right then, guys, so it has now been a couple of days since the skimmer has been turned on, and I've actually now removed those little feet as well, just to sort of sink it down that much further. So it's now sitting in approximately 7 inches of water. Still isn't really collecting, you know, any skim mate, but again, you know, it is brand new, and as I say, the pond isn't like that old either. So quickly flip the camera around and just sort of show you the positioning, and I've also turned the orientation of it as well, because apparently you shouldn't really have anything like driving towards it, like wave makers and stuff like that. You don't want any disruption where the actual intake is on the skimmer. So I have turned it, and also what I've done is I've angled away that overflow pipe as well that was angled on towards it before. So let me bring you in for a closer look. All right, so you might be able to see it has been lowered, because it's now no longer pretty similar to the same height of the pond. And then if we come all the way down here, just point out the bottom there. So the feet there, they're no longer on. They're actually over there, look, there. And the orientation has been changed round. So I've now got the air intake plus or minus here. And over at this side now is, where is it? It's down there somewhere. Can't get the camera in close enough to show you. Just down there is the actual intake. So it's basically pointing in the same direction as the water is running from this end of the sump all the way up to the other end of the sump where the return pump is before it goes back into the pond. Right, so now we've sorted that out, we're just going to give it some time now to see what it does. But, you know, if you have any comments or suggestions for me with regards to orientation, placement, height, all that sort of stuff, then please put it in the comment section below. That will be great. I like reading through those and then replying back to you. And anything else as well, any other comments as well, that would be great. If you can do the usual, like the video if you have, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That obviously always helps. And if you want to take it a little bit further, then don't forget I've also got the Amazon wish list, which is down in the description that you will find below. So thank you very much for watching. and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Easy go.